Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. So now guys, the speculation is rife all over the media space that Mallam Buhari has appointed a new chief of staff, and here is one of those speculations. As guys, I bring you this profile of President Buhari's new chief of staff, Ibrahim Gambari. So that is the name that we're conjuring with now within the Nigerian space, Ibrahim Gambari. So he's been profiled. Again, the headline profile of President Buhari's new chief of staff, Ibrahim Gambari. So now let's now meet the fella. Professor Ibrahim Gambari. So already let's pause there because there are already two elements there that we have to discuss. So one, a professor, so a PhD holder at least, but then of course his middle name Agbola, you don't get more Yoruba than that, so there's a Yoruba next to this guy. Yes, Ibrahim you will think is a Malami, and Gambari of course you don't get more Malami than that, but then you don't get more Yoruba than Agbola. So let's take it from the top again because we already have information already that excites interest just from the first four words of the intro. So we take it from the top again. Professor Ibrahim Gambari has been appointed as the new chief of staff to President Muhammadu Buhari. Gambari is set to replace Abba Kyari, the former chief of staff who lost his life to the dreaded C-19 infection. As at the time of filing this report, his letter of appointment is being prepared and an official announcement will be made by the presidency before the evening. So here is his profile, just his details, just a short synopsis of his life. So his life: Gambari, who is a Nigerian scholar and a diplomat, was born on November 24, 1944 in Ilorin, Kwara State. So again, we pause there. So that's another bit of information that we're having now. He was born in Kwara State. So Kwara State, of course, is a halfway house between the Yorubas and the Malamis. So Kwara State is an amalgamation of the Yorubas and the Malamis, because you'll recall, of course, that the whole entirety of that Kwara region used to belong to the Yorubas before it was ceded to the Malamis. And what they used to have actually in Kwara State was an Oba, not an Emir. So prior to having emirs, they used to have obas. It was Yoruba land, and then it was subsequently, in the course of history, ceded to the Malamis when they now came in with their trend for emirs, of course, trying to copy the Arab world. So let's just look at his profile again from the top. Gambari, who is a Nigerian scholar and diplomat, was born on November 24, 1944 in Ilorin, Kwara State. He attended King's College, Lagos, and then attended the London School of Economics, where he obtained a BSc Economics degree 1968 in International Relations. So now let's just pause there again because there's a lot of information coming out and we have to pause really just to reflect on them. So he went to school in Lagos, King's College, Lagos, one of the premier schools in Lagos. You don't get more prestige in terms of secondary school education, which is what we call it in Nigeria, secondary school education. You don't get more prestige for secondary school educations than King's College, Lagos. And I'm not just talking about Lagos, I'm talking about the entirety of Nigeria. You don't get more prestige, you don't get a more prestigious institution than King's College, Lagos. Then he went on to add the cherry on top with a degree from London School of Economics. You don't get even more prestige than that either. You don't get a lot more prestige than the London School of Economics. He attended King's College, Lagos. So we're taking it from the top again. He attended King's College, Lagos, and then attended the London School of Economics, where he obtained his BSc Economics degree 1968 in International Relations. Gambari later obtained his MA 1970 and PhD 1974 degrees from Columbia University, New York, the USA, in political science and international relations. He was appointed Minister of External Affairs between 1984 and 1985. Gambari was the pioneer chancellor of the Kwara State University, Kwasu, and now co-chairs the Albright Gambari Commission. Gambari was also appointed by the Secretary General of the United Nations, Ban Ki-moon, and the chairperson of the African Union Commission as Joint African Union United Nations Special Representative for Darfur, effective from the 1st of January 2010. So this guy now has international pedigree, and really you have to look at to the fact, because often we say a lot of this. I'm not going to call him a Malami because he has a Yoruba middle name, so let's just call him half Malami. So let's just say a lot of these people, they have all of their experiences within the Nigerian space, but then of course that Yoruba elemental name is what's now giving him this international coloration, to the point that the Secretary General of the United Nations, Ban Ki-moon, and the African Union have given him positions to act as their agents in Darfur. So that already is a commendation as well. We carry on. He is currently the Special Advisor on International Compact with Iraq and other issues for the Secretary General of the United Nations. So they rate him that highly, to the point that he's also on an Iraq mission and other missions for the United Nations. Previously, he served as the Undersecretary of the United Nations, USG, for the Department of Political Affairs, DPA. He was appointed on June 10, 2005 and assumed the post on July of that year. He is a member of the Johns Hopkins University Society of Scholars. He holds the National of Commander of Federal Republic, so, and that should be the national honor, but I don't think they put honor there. So he holds the national honor, it should say, of Commander of the Federal Republic, CFR. So now this is now the guy that we're going to be conjuring with now. So this is the new Abba Kyari, but of course I cannot call him the new Abba Kyari. We haven't now read his profile and this impressive CV now that this guy is presenting. So certainly a man of his own, a man to be reckoned with, a man of international standing and repute, having now to go and do Oraisa now to Mallam Buhari. So now let's now see what direction he will take. Is really now where the interest will be. So we have a new guy now, Ibrahim Gambari. So there are several ways to look at this, and we don't want to preempt this guy, and we want to give him a chance before we start to condemn him. So we're not going to go, at least I am not going to go into condemnation at this point, but just to reflect and project to the future. So now there are several directions that this guy can follow. He can either follow that Abba Kyari template, where is a shadowy figure undermining elected people who Nigerians have vested their confidence in, like the vice presidents and the senators and all of these people that he undermining the system to the point of not observing policies, which is what led to his demise, Abba Kyari, because you'll recall that he did not quarantine when he came back from Egypt and Germany and just breezed through to Aso Rock to handshake everybody and infect them with C19. So that was Abba Kyari's narrative. So he can either follow that line, and Abba Kyari, of course, is notorious for corruption as well. There's no getting away from that. This guy is one of the most corrupt people within that system that they have in Aso Rock at the moment, if not the most corrupt. And if this guy now is not going to look to now make his own money, there will be another round of looting, because I have always been of the thought, and please forgive me if this is naive on my part, but I have always been of the thought that some of these people, when they've looted to the point that they are satisfied, they might then look to start doing the good for the people. But when they come in hungry, their own intent, their own intention is to match and rival the person that was there before and outdo him in however much they can loot. So Abba Kyari should have been reaching that point now where he would have had his 10-20 million dollars in the bank stashed away somewhere, to the point then that he's now saying that, oh, the suffering in this country now, I cannot bear it anymore. But if this guy is now coming new, that will be another round of looting. So he is now starting from ground zero where Abba Kyari started to do his own looting. So this guy might well be just another looter. So he might well follow that Luther route, well, he might well be a man of conscience as well, because he sounds like an academic. Is a member of the John Hopkins, whatever it is that he is in America, is highly regarded within the United Nations, and his CV already we've read it, at least the academic ones, and is really impressive. I can't think that there's too many more people more educated than this guy, just from what we've read from his CV. You can be as educated as him, but I doubt if there are many more people more educated than this guy. So eminently qualified, at least in terms of experience and academia and learning. So is he now going to bring all of that for the good of the country, or is he going to serve the self-interest of himself? We cannot accuse him of Fulanization now, because he's a man from Kwara, and Kwara is not essentially a Fulani hub. It might well be a Fulani man, because Kwara is a melting pot of all manners of Nigerians, but it doesn't sound like a Fulani man. But then, of course, you remember Babangida, his name was Ibrahim Gbadamoshi Babangida, and you don't get more Hausa Fulani than Babangida. So we have to go research this guy's CV, but the fact that he's from Kwara with a Yoruba middle name means that it's a toned down version of what we experienced all the way through up to this point. So Ibrahim Gambari is the name that we're contending with now within the Nigerian space. So come share thoughts about what you're making of this fella, this new guy now, in the comment section. So I'll leave you here. Carry this conversation on with you in the comment section, but here I say peace.